Watch that dial.
Garrett J. White, the authentic behavior holla. This is Garrett J. White, the authentic entrepreneur, coming at you real, raw, and relevant. And this, my friends, is a business breakthrough. And today we're going to talk about sales, right? Sales. The wonderful fruit, the more you eat, the more you toot.
Huh?
I don't know. Anyways, let's move into sales. Here's the thing we're going to talk about today, and it's a conversation of non-attachment. I'm going to give an example of this. So I can remember being in two different positions when it comes to sales, right? One is, I don't really need your money. The second is, I really need your money. The one is, I don't really need your money. The other is, I really need your money. Okay, so in both situations, one I was starving in survival, and the other one I was completely in thriving, and it was no big deal. Here was a crazy thing I noticed about being in survival, though. Survival, I created what in Buddhism is called attachment. Okay, over here in thriving, or being in a place in which I didn't need the money, I was in non-attachment. And it was amazing how aggressive I would be over here and how desperate I was over here. Over here on this side, I would find myself coming in constantly mentally thinking, how am I going to close the deal? 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 And constantly trying to manipulate the conversation to get to the outcome. Every question I asked was not about the person. It was about leading them down a manipulative path of get over here. Over here on this side, though, it was interesting. I was totally open, I was totally peaceful, and I wasn't attached. I wasn't attached to their answers, I wasn't attached to the outcome. I had here what I called an intention. Now notice this. Over here I had an agenda, over here I had an intention.
Over here I had an agenda, over here I had an intention.
So I had a whole team of sales loan officers when I was running my mortgage companies, and one of them came to me one day when I was thriving and our companies were thriving, but he was struggling. He was in survival. He's like, Garrett, I can't figure it out. I don't know what's wrong. Every time I get a lead, I seem to keep screwing it up. What's going on? And I was like, well, it's pretty simple. You need to go into the sales conversation as if you don't need it. Because if you go into the sales conversation as if you need it, you desperately need it, you will do one of two things. Number one, you're going to screw it up, and you're going to vomit on them. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to just sell them too much. What I mean is you're going to overpromise, and underdeliver. You're going to promise them something you just cannot do. So the only way to really stand in power when it comes to sales then is to stand in a place of being non-attached, right? Or to having an intention. When I come in from the side of survival, I have an agenda. I'm going to ask these questions. Here's the script. They're going to say yes. I'm going to say you ready. And I'm going to ask for the order. Over here, it's going to be on the other side, which is, hey, I'm coming to this conversation and here we go. I want to connect with you. I also want to find out if there's some possibilities here. See if there's a way that I can serve you. And if not, great, let's help you get on your way to somewhere else. There's a difference, though, in these two energies. So one of the things, again, keys that I had this individual try is he went back to the trenches and he started selling again. I had him pretend like he didn't need the money, and he said, Garrett, but I need the money. I said, I get that. But if you keep showing up like you need the money, you're going to keep screwing it all up. You need to show up as if you don't need the money and step all the way back from the conversation and put yourself in their shoes and allow them to be. The interesting thing was, as this young salesperson began to do this, and he began to step back, the results started coming to him in a way that had never come before. What was the difference, right? He was in a place of non-attachment, coming in with an intention versus coming in with an agenda. So the next time you go into a sales conversation, even if you need this sale in order to put bread on the table, one of the things I want you to consider is how can you emotionally detach yourself from the situation such that you allow it to be what it is. And you'll actually find that by doing this, which appears to be the opposite, doing the opposite, it feels awkward and wrong and feels like it's the wrong way to do it, but by doing the opposite, you'll actually create the result that you're looking for, which is movement and yes, and completion and commitment from students and or clients or people who are looking to buy your product, services, or experiences. So try that on for you today. This whole show I've been like, anyways, we're going to keep going and bring this one to a conclusion. So jump into your business and see in what areas could you start coming from intention instead of agenda, what areas could come from non-attachment versus attachment, and what areas could come from a place of allowing instead of forcing. My name is Garrett J. White, and this has been the Business Breakthrough, reminding you to be real, be raw, be relevant, and most importantly, here it comes. Be authentic.